today in this video, we continue on our series with Ketu in different houses. Today, I'm going to talk about Ketu in the 6th house. Yes, when we're talking about planets in a certain house, we do need to take the entire chart in a composite manner, but there's certain aspects that a chart will show, a planet will show, and for that we're taking the placement of Ketu, and then we will see how it works on so many charts with permutation and combination because of the aspect, conjunction, etc. of other planets. So first we move on to what does Ketu show, or what does Ketu in the 6th house, what does the 6th house mean? As we move ahead, I'd like to tell you one thing, that we have been doing the Karakas of Ketu many a times in the past videos. You should definitely visit those videos to see how much and how we have covered with the great deal of explanations. Also, when we're talking about the 6th house, it has been explained in detail in the Rahu series, Rahu in the 6th house also. So it would be a good effort if we could see that video and understand a lot about the 6th house from that video. I move on directly to the effects of Ketu in the 6th house. But before that, just touching on to the 6th house in certain manner, that the 6th house represents your health. It talks about your habits that create your health and about your illness, the ability that one has to retain food. The 6th house also talks about the competitive spirit that a person has and how much a person is willing to put in their effort about competition. When we are talking about the 6th house, another thing that comes into our mind is that it is a part of the Artha Trikon. That is, it is a house that would help one to generate money through service. So that is another aspect that one needs to carefully see, and it is also a goal oriented when one puts in material goals in with the 6th house, and how much a person is willing to put in an effort to achieve those goals. 6th house is also the house of service, and the kind of service one is willing to extend to others, be it for money or without money, can also be seen from the 6th house. Keeping all these parameters in mind, we move ahead with Ketu, effect of Ketu in the 6th house. Ketu in the 6th house gives health consciousness. 6th house being the house of cousins also shows good relationships with cousins, because as I have mentioned earlier, that wherever Ketu sits is the thing or are the things that we have done in some past lifetime, and in all probability we have attained certain amount of supremacy skill in that particular area. So as we move ahead, when we see Ketu in the 6th house, we shows that it's also about service and work for others, and how much a person is willing to do things for others. Untimely demise or health related issues. See, 6th house can give us habits that make or break our health. So it can make us health conscious, or it can give us those kind of habits, or if I can say bad habits, that can be detrimental to our health. There's a strong sense of competition and goal orientation that can be seen from the 6th house. There is a need, a burning desire by the person to be the best in their fields. It can make a person very unhappy in the material world in spite of material gains and achievements, because Ketu is essentially a spiritual planet. It does bestow a lot of prosperity, but this prosperity has to be accompanied by a very strong desire and a need to do for others. When we lose that focus, or when we lose that sense, then Ketu in the 6th house cannot remain material only and can give a person a lot of problems. Keeping these views, these points in mind, when we do the chart analysis of Swami Vivekananda, we see that his Ketu is in the 6th house in the sign of Taurus. Taurus is a sign of hard work. And when it came to spreading the knowledge of Vedanta, the ancient Indian knowledge, there was no one as hardworking as or selfless work as we see in case of Swami Vivekananda, who carried out his guru's desire to the hilt, and he did it with a very selfless attitude, as a result of which this also gave him, this Ketu sitting there gave him a lot of material prosperity, because Ketu here is sitting in a materially prosperous sign, that is Taurus. And it also gave him a name and fame for his work. Swami Vivekananda passed away at a very young age, and so we see it also does show an untimely demise and health issues, as it was the case in Swamiji's life. Being the best in his field was what Swamiji was known for. Given just 1 minute to speak, he ended up speaking for such a long time, because he knew his subject inside out, and he wanted to, and his competitive spirit was such, in all a very good form, that he wanted to see the Indian heritage culture to be on the world map. Next, we take up the case of Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe again has a Ketu in the 6th house. When we're talking about Ketu in the 6th house, in case of Marilyn Monroe's case, we all know that she passed away under very mysterious circumstances to begin with. Goal orientation can also be seen from her case, because coming from with a very disturbed childhood, she had set her goals on becoming materially very prosperous and known, and she had been able to attain her goal to a great extent. When we are talking about this path of a person being very unhappy in spite of material gains, we can see, and when we read the biography of Marilyn Monroe, we find that it holds true very much. She was also prone to substance abuse, and she was known for that. It has been documented fact about her, and when we can see that they ended up giving her a lot of health issues. So we can and then there are many examples after that, but just working with these examples, we see how well these have worked in their cases. But we can also take in the nakshatras, and we can see that these nakshatras have also the placement of Ketu in these nakshatras in the 6th house have also enhanced their qualities. Like for Swami Vivekananda, Ketu is sitting in Rohini Nakshatra. Rohini Nakshatra is said to make whichever planet sitting there prosperous. As far as Swamiji was concerned, it was his work that became more and more prosperous. It was his will to get to the knowledge of the Vedantas across the length and the breadth of the world, which became very prosperous, and his ability to work hard on that aspect, achieve his goals, something that Rohini helped him do. When we take the case of Marilyn Monroe, Ketu in her case is in the nakshatra of Purvashara. Purvashara nakshatra is said to be the nakshatra of Venus, and it gives her victory. So this nakshatra of Purvashara, which gave her victory and also a mysterious death, because there's a lot of mystery that is generally associated with the Ashara nakshatra, can be seen very clearly working in the chart of Marilyn Monroe. So we see that the nakshatras here also enhance that level. So we come to a conclusion that it's not just the placement of planets, but it is also the nakshatras that help a person rise up, move up, and have the ability to attain the goals. So when we do a composite reading, we come across a lot of beautiful colors. Till we meet again, stay safe, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel, write in your views and your comments.